today we're going to do some different thermal techniques, and here's a reason you would want to know more than one way to thermal curl the hair. Number one, her hair, if you have a client that comes into you and her hair is multiple lengths, the curl that works for hair this length may not work as well for hair that is much longer. So knowing different techniques will give you an advantage on creating a much more successful hairstyle that would be more becoming to the client, and it'll give you a little bit of versatility and creativity in what you do as well. So what you're going to need today to work with are your 3/4 inch curling iron. You're going to need your test strip for the testing the heat of the iron. You'll need a heat resistant comb. You'll need your clips, butterfly clips for the hair, and a good brush for detangling, which should be done prior to beginning. The hair should be completely dry before you begin. You don't want to try to thermal curl wet hair. At best, if it curls at all, it's going to be very limp and it won't hold well. So if you were doing it on a regular client, you may use a thermal spray, the heat protectant on the hair when you blow dry, and you would maybe use hairspray to make that curl last better. But just because we're just learning techniques, I won't be using the sprays for that today. So go ahead and section off your mannequin forehead and nape and ear to ear, and we'll get started on some techniques. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate a figure 8 thermal curl. Again, like we said, make sure you test your iron before you start. Look to see if there's any scorching, any brown or orange looking on there. There's not, so I'm good to go. Take your section. It should be no larger than the diameter of the tool that you're using, which would be the diameter of the rod. And we're going to lift out and click and turn just like we did before, but we're going to keep the barrel of the iron horizontal this time. Before with your spiral we kept it vertical. This time we're going to keep it horizontal. Notice I'm working close to the scalp but not all the way. And I'm going to show you that again, but I want you to see where that hair is. If you'll look, it's coming between two sections. And I'll show you a little bit more detail about it as we go again around with the next one. Watch the end feed through. Once you see it in there, place your comb for safety. And leave your curl. What's going to happen, the difference between a figure 8 curl and a spiral curl is a spiral is made to hang. A figure 8 is made to give you more volume and more lift at the scalp. So it depends on what you want that curl to do. Now eventually it's going to turn and hang down. So you're still going to have a spiral look on the ends, but you're going to have more lift at the scalp. And someone with fine hair that needs that volume, it would be a good person to do this with. Or even medium, depending on the style you're going for. So let me show you another one. I'm going to go real slow this time. Holding the comb, don't put it down. Time is money. Every time you put your comb down, that's a little bit more time you're wasting. All right, so place your iron. It's in the center. Click and turn. I'm going to come to my right first. Continue to click and turn. Click and turn, and as that shell comes back around to me, I'm going to feed that hair to the left side. And when I did that, it caused that curl to go to the other side of the hair. So that's what makes it go through the center. If you don't come up and if you come back around and you're not in the center, then chances are you looped it around on the same side twice. It absolutely does not matter if you go left first or right first. It's just simply that you do one and then alternate to the other. Again, there's your volume. And I'm going to do one full row for you so you can see the demonstration. Again, click and turn. Hair's in the center. It's going to come around my right side first. Continue to click and turn until that shell brings that hair back to you. And I make sure it comes around to the left side that time. And continue to click and turn. What you want to make sure too is if it comes back around to you a third time or a fourth time, that it's still feeding through straight. Because if it happens to come off at an angle, then you can create a fish hook, and you don't want to do that. Fish hook is when it comes down, has a straight part, and then it hangs. Again, middle of the rod, click and turn, click and turn. Continue to click and turn. And I am not twisting that hair around. I'm waiting for the shell to bring it to me. All I'm doing is very gently holding onto it, making sure it's feeding through properly. So the biggest mistake that I see happen is that people try to wrap it around the barrel, and you shouldn't wrap it around. It should feed through itself. And one final one. In the center, go right, click and turn, click and turn, click and turn, go left, it's in the center, continue to click and turn, making sure those ends are feeding through evenly and straight. And done.